I'm gonna start this video off very, very seriously. Last year, I had to have open heart surgery. I was in the hospital and rehab for about 4 months. It was not the best year. In many regards, 2025 was a rough year. It was a rough year for me. So one of the things I want to talk about is internet people and real people. When I was in the hospital, I had a team of doctors. I had a lot of nurses, really good nurses. I was at Northside Hospital in here in Atlanta, and then I had to transfer to Northside Hospital up in Gwinnett for the heart surgery, which honestly scared the shit out of me because I had to have my chest cracked. I got this scar from here to here. And we have a lot of stuff for sale at the Hustlers Kung Fu Portal, AKA Emerge Forward. We have many books. We've got Permissionless Wealth, Permissionless Management. We have many other books. The links are below. Check the books out if you want to get access to the new high-level content and training. Plus, we got some other stuff. All the books will be listed below. I was in the hospital for a while. There was concerns about my kidneys and other stuff. So I'm in the hospital and I meet all these doctors, I meet all these people, and no one knows who I am. No one has a clue who I am. I would even push it a little bit and I would talk about, well, yeah, I do YouTube. Oh, really? What do you do? No one, not one doctor, not one nurse, no one had a clue to who I was. No one had heard of Glendon Cameron on the internet. None of these people knew who I was. And it came to create this thesis. There's internet people and there's real people. Now, one of the things I consistently saw in the hospital, I did a video talking about a nurse and people talking about people are leaving nursing. No, they're not. Literally, there was nurses and there was the nurse tech. I talked to not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 nurse techs who were going to nursing school. One was graduating in December. Another one that was graduating this coming August. They were like bum rushing nursing school. So this whole notion that folks are dropping out of nursing is crazy. There's currently a nursing shortage across the United States. A nurse who's on her game or his game can make $90,000 to $150,000 a year if they want to. So doctors, PAs. When I was at Northside here in Atlanta, I had a team of doctors, and there was about 10 doctors. I mean, it was like a certain series of cardiologists, and then I had other people. And I was at the position where I asked one doctor, I was like, what if I don't have this done? And she looked me dead in the eye and said, you die much sooner than you have to. Just no filter, and the way she was looking at me and all the stuff they were doing to me, they thought I was going to die because they had me on heparin, they had all kinds of stuff. And whenever I called the nurse, someone was always in the room. I have to say both north sides, the customer care is top notch. And I was like just sitting there thinking, because the whole time I was like, open heart surgery, I gotta have what's called cabbage. I'm freaking out and everything. What happened was, I was at the MARTA station and I literally just passed out. No warning, nothing, just passed out, woke up, I was on the ground. And that deeply, deeply, deeply concerned them. That was a big thing, and it's like, you need no warnings? No, I just woke up on the ground. So I go in and I have the surgery, and I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. What's gonna be my next rodeo? Because literally I walked away from YouTube for about 1.5 years and I lived off savings. I had no clue what I was gonna do. So I started looking at nurses, nurse techs, PAs. I had a bunch of PAs. I was asking people how long they were in school and all this other stuff, because I honestly didn't know what I was gonna do. So I came up with this thesis. There are internet people and there are real people. And the internet people live in a fantasy world. Real people, like I said, both hospitals, no one, not one nurse, not one doctor, No one, not the social worker. No one knew who I was. No one. And it got me to really, really thinking. On the internet, there is a silo of people who are really familiar with me in terms of drama, the Anton Daniels thing, in terms of me carving my way out, the Glendon Cameron thing. And it just hit me. Do you know that 5,500 men and women get married every day? That's 2 million that's 2 million people getting married every year. But if you're on the internet, if you're on Red Pill Lane, or if you're, I'm going to call it, these guys are anti-woman lane. That's my opinion. These guys are 100% anti-woman. And you would think that all women are 304s, and you would think all women are whores, and you think all women have extremely high body counts. On the internet, this is my thought process. My thought process is the broken people on the internet are leading broken people that follow them on the internet. Because my experience of being in the hospital and being in rehab, being there 4 months, no one knew who I was. No one in the hospitals knew who I was. No one in rehab knew who I was. And actually, in rehab, I had a roommate, and I went back to visit him, and I went back to rehab, and they were shocked when they saw me. The people was like, she's like, "You look like money." I was like, I'm just a little bit better, because essentially after the heart surgery, I was weak. I was really, really weak. I was sleeping half the day, and this is after I get out. So now this is something else too. My boo, I call her Speedy Gonzalez, because when we're going, she said she walks very, very fast. And I'm like, hey, and just keeping up with her, I couldn't have did that before the surgery. I couldn't walk. I had an episode where I had to walk for about an hour. I could actually do that. Before I had the heart surgery, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. And the thing is, before I went in the hospital, I knew I was ill, but I did not know how deeply ill I was. So that was one of the things that got me. And then I go back to rehab, and I'm just talking to people, and they're like looking at me, because I kind of came back into myself, so to speak. In the hospital, I lost a lot of weight. I got down to about 215. I lost a lot of weight because, the hospital food, it's designed to nourish you, but it's not designed to keep weight on you. And I was dropping weight like crazy. But in this thesis, you as a person have to make a decision. Are you become an internet person, or are you going to live out here in the real world? Because life out here in the real world is vastly different than life on the internet. Right now, if you just go ahead and put Anton Daniels in, you will see a multitude of internet personalities speaking about Anton Daniels and him cheating on his wife and Nika, and it's literally a wave. I mean, I would not be shocked if there were not a few hundred videos about Anton Daniels and his ways. Now, the reality is, you could walk on the street right now, stop a person and say, "Hey, have you heard of Anton Daniels?" And more than likely, they're going to say, "Who's that?" See, this is one of the things, like going back to the Porsche, I'm in the market, I'm going to trade my Porsche in and get me an upgraded Cayenne, right? So I'm visiting the dealership and everything. There are people on the internet talking about Porsches having issues selling cars. Porsche can't keep certain cars in stock, 911s, the Cayenne Turbo, because that's what I'm looking for. The allocations are really hard to get. Yet on the internet, you have an internet person telling you that Porsche is suffering. Porsche has built 2 new dealerships in here in Atlanta in the last year. Wait a minute, we're having the trouble selling cars, but we're building new dealerships? That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. So one of the things that, and this is why you've got to start living in the real world, because the internet will lie to you and having you believing in false narratives. Like me, I'm about starting businesses. If you listen to the internet, folks, you can't start a business. The economy's bad. People are struggling. You can't get loans. Out here in the real world, with my people, the videos on my other channel, me going to the apparel mart, all of these business owners flying to Atlanta to buy billions of dollars of merchandise for their businesses. That's the real world. So there is no recession in the real world. There's no bad economy in the real world. But on the internet, everything is going up in flames because attention is money on the internet. If people could get you to watch their YouTube channel, they make money. They don't care if they help you. They don't, all they want you, they want your eyeballs on their YouTube channel. That's it. That's it. So once again, you got to ask yourself, are you going to be an internet person or a real person? Because I'm a combination of both. I'm an internet person. You can make a ton of money on the internet. You can make a ton of money on the internet, but I also live in the real world, which brings me to my boo, Tressie. I've said things here on the internet that just piss off red pill men. I love my boo. I'm going to marry my boo. There will not be a prenup. And let's talk about that. Why will there not be a prenup? I don't have all of the stuff I used to have. I'm way off better than the average person. I drive around in a paid off Porsche. I live in a very nice, so I'm not suffering, but I would say the height of my wealth was 2020. I made 3 million. I had about 2 million in the bank. I had no debt. I had a lot of assets. So that was the height. That no longer exists. So when I ask my boo to marry me, there will not be talks of a prenup. There will not, because I don't have all that stuff anymore. I just don't. I look at, I'm rebuilding. And, coming back to YouTube, I was kind of shocked at how many people actually missed me. It was just like a really huge shock. And then I got back into going back to being unhealthy and sick. I did not know how the far-ranging implications that happened with me being ill. So many things happened. So many things I can't even, like I said, I knew I wasn't feeling well. I knew that. But I didn't know how deep and how bad it was because it was impacting my health. It was impacting my memory. It was so many things. So once I got better and now I'm back in my lane with my boo, Speedy Gonzalez, and we were at the mall and I was walking around and I could actually keep up with her. And I was shocked because, like I said, I couldn't do that before. And then another thing that I want to really bring to you guys, there's a ton of internet people that will straight up lie to you. There's a ton of internet content that, in my opinion, is completely worthless. It's exciting, it's to get you to watch it, but it's not going to help you. It's not going to actually make your life better. It's just not. But it's internet content. You will see, and I'm going to say something. Carlton Dennis, he's a tax guy, rather large YouTube channel. And then there is Jasmine DeLucci. She's a enrolled, certified CPA, enrolled agent, attorney, tax attorney. She consistently makes videos talking about how his thesis on tax is wrong. Consistently. Why does Carlton do this stuff? Makes money. Telling you stuff. Because here's the thing. You follow his advice, you file your taxes, and you get in trouble. They're not coming after Carlton. They're coming after you. So this is one of the things that you see. There's a ton of misinformation. There's a ton of false narratives. And this kind of comes back to me. Why am I so hated? Why do I have so many people who come after me? I tell the truth. The Kill Switch Chronicles, a truthful expose into my life, starting a car rental business. I put out the good, not a lot of good. I put out the bad, a ton of bad. And I actually showed what it was like to buy 32 cars, cost me $500,000. And I lost 4 cars the first month. And I just went through it very honest and truthful position. And there were many people who would question my business acumen because, once again, you have a bunch of lying YouTubers that were not putting out that content. Now, all of a sudden, you have a ton of YouTubers in the car space talking about bad cars, people speeding, people. Now, but before I did that Kill Switch Chronicles, nobody was doing that. There was maybe one girl who was talking about it briefly, but she didn't have the kind of experiences I had. It wasn't even close to what I went through. So one of the things that you have to understand is YouTube, there's a lot of people that will straight up lie to you to get views. So I feel the Kill Switch Chronicles was one of my fonder things. I need to bring that back out because I got those videos hidden. Because I hid all the videos on this channel when I went away, and that's why no one was watching it. So I'm gonna renew that list and bring it back. But right now, I have two programs. The King program, very, very expensive. It's not for everybody. And the Royal Prince program, which is for most people. And right now, there's a bunch of people saying you can't start a business. It's too hard. You need money, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and have this conversation. You need to get your money together. Current money, the current money you make from your job, you need to get that together and you need to optimize that because that opens the door for you getting more money. Everybody wants a business so they can go out and just blow money and not think about it. That's not reality. Even when I made $3 million in 1 year, I had a budget. I didn't just go out spending money willy-nilly. That didn't make any sense. So the Royal Prince program will teach you how to optimize your money, and it will position you to be an entrepreneur because that's one of the biggest issues with entrepreneurs. Poor money management. They can't manage their money, can't manage their credit. They got a business that's doing really well making money, but because they have poor money management habits, it just blows up in their face. So Royal Prince thing is going to take you to extreme money management habits. And then when you start your business, I want you to think about it. You've got your budget, you've got your finances under control, you've got your job money taking care of you, paying your rent, your mortgage, whatever. Now you've gone ahead and you've developed money, set aside. Now you have money to start a business. Now here's the thing. I've never taken out a business loan to start a business. I've never used business credit to start a business. Never. I always had cash. And the number of businesses that you can start for $5,000 or $10,000 stretch off is so huge. The number of businesses you can start a business for $5,000 or $10,000 that in 2 or 3 years can be making you $1 million in 2 years, $1 million or $2 million a year in income, not profit, but income. And that gets you to the $250,000 limit. I've been talking about making $250,000 for years because for me, that was the breaking point. That's when life literally flipped over. I went from being a normal person to a fully financial person. Anything I wanted. I remember when I bought my first car cash, I was selling commercial office furniture and I did 2 deals, got me $68,000. Went straight to BMW, bought me a brand new car. So I'm driving around in a paid off car. I got a job with a high income level and I've been living like that since 1999. So here's the thing. If you want to become a real life person, you need to, number one, do your own research. Number two, actually look at all internet content, including mine, with caution. With caution. Because a lot of folks here will just straight up lie to you. There's a number of YouTubers that make how to do this hustle content. And they make crazy money because everyone's looking for a side hustle or something to do, right? But these people, they make their money from talking about it. They don't actually do these hustles. They point you in this direction, but they don't do these hustles. And they make a ton of money because people, number one, my thesis is people are lazy. They will not do the hard work that's required to have a successful side business. Like, take Whatnot. Right now, we're doing Whatnot. You know what my biggest challenge is with Whatnot? Hiring staff. That's a problem that I got to solve, because literally I had 130 people say they were interested, but I only had 5 people do the videos. So we got to work on that. But this is one of the things I'm doing. The multiple engine income. That's a course I'm building. I have a YouTube business. I have an online course business. I have Whatnot business number 1, Whatnot business number 2. So these 2 Whatnot businesses are not profitable. They're just involved. I have the LLC, I have the office, I have the inventory, and now I got to get the staff to optimize it. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on, but I'm here to tell you, right now, I'll be straight up. One of my employees was attacked, had to go to the hospital. So she hasn't been to work all week. And another one of my employees, she's sick. She had to leave work the other day. So that business is not running at the moment. Thank God I have a YouTube business and an online course business, because I'm still out here making money. Because that was another thing. Because you had numerous people talking shit about me because of my failed car rental business. These people never started a business, never had an employee, never in an office, but they know so much about business, right? Yet after my failed car rental business, what did I do? I go out and buy a $275,000 brand new Porsche, order it custom for the factory, and pay for it in 4 months. After my car rental business failed. Nobody talked about that. You want to know why? Because the internet produces liars. The people on the internet lie. And the people who watch the internet become the internet narrative. They also lie, or they leave out important details. I was running ads, and this guy was like, this guy, you should see what happened with his car rental business, right? Completely negating the fact that I've written, at the time I had maybe 15 books. I've got 20 books written now. I've had several online courses. I've made millions of dollars. Left that out the conversation. Well, he couldn't do the car rental business is supposed to be easy. The car rental business, I actually talked someone out of the car rental business the other day. I said, you don't want to do that. Your capital costs are extremely high, and the money you make could be very, very bad. Really, really bad. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, are you going to be a real person, or are you going to continue to be an internet person? Because if you continue to be an internet person, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to make the money that you could. The only reason that I made so much money on the internet is I had real life experience. I would say we would combine my sales experience of selling commercial office furniture, selling stuff on Craigslist. There was no Facebook Marketplace when I was doing storage auctions, selling stuff on eBay. I would say I have 32. I would have 27 years of sales experience going right now. 27 years. That's the thing that got me over, because all my businesses I started, what is the first thing I do? I gotta sell something. Not get my LLC, even though that's part of the new brand that I've put out. But the first thing you gotta do is you gotta sell some stuff. That's the first thing you gotta do. You gotta sell some stuff. So if you want to transform your life in the next 12 months, you would join the Royal Prince program. I have an assistant helping me. It's very tight. This is probably, I would say, the King program and the Royal Prince program are the tightest online courses I've ever produced, because there's a methodology, there's an assistant, there's help, there's a community, and I'm still putting it together because email's terrible. I have people in the King program who don't even know what I'm doing, because when you email them, emails go straight to spam and they don't open up their spam. So it's going to take some time to get all this together. So here's the thing. Are you going to be an internet person and live a false narrative, or are you going to be a real life person and make that money? Or ideally, you're going to be a hybrid of both. You'll use the internet over here, but you also live in the real world over here, and you keep your real world perspectives. I would suggest you be a hybrid, because the internet, I've made millions of dollars on the internet. You can't beat it. My girlfriend asked me, she's like, how are you going to sell furniture? I was like, the internet. I've sold maybe over the years, $10 million worth of furniture over the internet. So it's something I know can be done. I know how to do it. I know how to price it. So that's what's things going on. But once again, if you want to transform your life, like I want you to stop thinking about, I need money now. Let that go. I want you to think that if I go ahead and start working on my transformation now, this time next year, I have money in the bank, my finances will be under control, I've started a business, and I'll be making more money than I ever made before. That's how you got to think. I asked ChatGPT, why does the top 10% of America have 9% of the money? I asked if there's a psychological reason or not, and it was kind of like there is and there isn't. The people who have money, the biggest reason they have money is they have the ability for delayed gratification. Hugest signal to making money. And this is one of the things you have to do because everyone's looking for immediate gratification. Everyone's looking for a hookup. They're looking for the hack. You gotta let that shit go. You got to start planning for 2027 now. It's 2026. I'm planning for 2028. My plan is in 2028, I'll be buying apartment complexes. But I got to do things in 2026 and 2027 to prepare myself financially. And, the most money I ever made in a year was $3 million, right? So my new plan is to make $3 million a month in profit. And that's going to have me some heavy tax implications. Because the thing is, there's ways I'm working on it, and that'll be in the course. But that's the goal, to get to $3 million a month in profit, which is $36 million a year, to actually go ahead and buy apartment complexes. Because this is the thing, I would be living on 2 or 3% of my income, but I would put myself on salary for about $500,000. That's plenty of money for me to do what I need to do. And then I would do distributions out the company because I'm gonna buy me and the boo a house and pay cash. So that's gonna be a distribution I'm gonna pull out. Then I'm gonna have to pay taxes on that money. But the majority of the money is gonna stay within the company and then go to the real estate companies so I can buy apartment complexes. And I'm gonna need a lot of cash. I'm not trying to go out here in the real estate world with no money. I already know how that works because there are people out there who bring in capital partners and stuff, and they make management fees or they make money when their property appreciates. I want to go in with a certain amount of equity from day one, because then finance it, service your loan, but cash flow each property. I've already predicted this. If we buy right, we hit our numbers, each property will cash flow at about $100K a month. My goal 29 to get 24 to 30 properties like that. So we're at $3 million a month in income that has something that's called depreciation. So I won't even be paying full taxes on that $3 million. And that's kind of my retirement plan, to have 24, 30 apartment complexes, then create a trust for the family, for my boo and children, and to become permanently wealthy. That's what I'm working on. And if you want to be part of that and you get that knowledge and the wisdom and insight, go ahead and get in the Royal Prince program now. Right now it's $1,500. Next month it's going to be $2,500 to $3,000. So it's your decision. Let me know what you're going to do.